It's July and I've got a great balance challenge for us. No equipment needed, so let's go. All right, Killer Bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. That means that we're getting started with some arm circles with high knees. You guys, welcome to the workout. I'm Paula B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend. And around here, we are all about making peace with your menopausal body by finding a healthy weight and moving in ways that feel like self-love. And you guys, I know that for those of us who are balance challenged, that a balance challenge might not feel like self-love when we're doing it. In fact, it might feel awkward and embarrassing and annoying and frustrating and like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I had the worst balance in the world. And I want you to know that you're going to see me modeling this behavior today. I do not have especially good balance. I've been practicing my balance. I've been actively practicing my balance for about 10 years now. I still wobble, I still bobble, I still have trouble with it, but here's what I know about balance. It is critical as we get older. The way to stay on your feet, the way to get better at balance or maintain your balance is to practice your balance. Let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. So that's what we're doing today, but let me tell you something. I have fun stuff for us too. We're actually going to do a bit of walking today as well so that we can kind of balance out our efforts today. I know that it feels good to walk and it feels good to move and it feels maybe awkward, annoying, frustrating, etc. to do the balance work. So I've got a nice blend of both walking and balancing for us today. I've got the handy dandy gym boss here. Sit for intervals of 20 seconds. We're going to walk for 20 seconds and then we're going to do 20 seconds of balance on one side, 20 seconds of balance on the other side, then come back to walking. And I've got little mini circuits for us today. I've got a great variety of exercises that are going to help us with our core strength, our ab strength with standing abs, because of course there's no getting down on the ground, nor is there any jumping at all. So we're getting it all done in a nice, manageable package. You guys, let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes, because welcome to my home. I said that there's no equipment necessary today, and you don't need equipment, but you might like to have a chair nearby, and I'm going to reassure you right now and probably several times during our workout that hanging onto a chair isn't bad. There's nothing wrong with hanging onto a chair while we are practicing our balance. And in fact, even if someday you do get so good at balance that you don't need a chair, that it all feels very easy to you, I want you to know it's still going to be a practice. We're always practicing, and thank goodness there are very few actual tests in our lives. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get moving and grooving. That means we're going to get started with our walking. If you don't feel warmed up yet, go ahead and scrub back, do the warm up again. If you'd like to have a chair, go ahead and go grab a chair. But when you're ready for it, you know I'm ready. Let's walk. All right. So here's what we're thinking about today. We're thinking about bringing the work of the balance into our middle. Our midsection is actually the seat of balance. We're going to get started with oblique crunches. I am always going to stand on my left foot first because that tends to be harder for me. So hands on your shoulders here. You're bringing, for me, my right knee up towards my right elbow. Just crunching, thinking about having that standing leg be soft but strong. Means that your knee is not locked, your quadriceps are engaged, your toes are unclenched. When it beeps again, we're doing this exact same thing on the other side. Here we go. Find your balance on the other side. Awesome job. It's totally okay to put your foot completely down. I'm tapping, not really putting my weight back down on it, but I'm also not trying to keep it flying the whole time. When it beeps again, we're coming back to walking because this balance already feeling like a challenge. Here we go. Coming up next, we're going to do star balance. You're going to have your hands up over your head and we're going to tip to one side. For me, I'm doing my left side. I'm standing on my left leg first. Again, I like to get it over with. This is what I've said for years, and the thing that's really funny about this is that my left leg is now sometimes stronger than my right leg with balance. But here we go, just tipping to one side and then coming back up. Nice job. We're not trying to get a whole lot of reps in. It's not really about reps. It's just about practice. It's about thinking about where your body is in space and time. Here we go, the other direction. Thinking about bringing the balance into your abs. And I know that sounds like such a funny concept, but when you have developed a good brain-body connection, that is what we are working on here. I mean, that is the crux of working on your balance. When it beeps again, we're coming back to walking. Here we go. Okay. When you can ask parts of your body to do work really intentionally, it feels very different from just asking your whole body to balance. When you ask your whole body to balance, by the way, when it beeps again, we're doing crane kicks. I'm standing on my left leg, bringing that right knee up and just kicking forward. Again, that standing knee is soft but strong. Quadriceps are engaged. Quadriceps are engaged on this flying leg as well. Really, really feeling that work in your abs, feeling that work in both quadriceps, the tops of your thighs. When it beeps again, gonna just switch legs, do these crane kicks on the other side, feeling that work up into your abs, in your glutes, asking your butt to stand strong rather than your foot, your ankle, your shins. Oftentimes when we think about balancing, we're kind of putting our emphasis on our foot, where our foot is and what our foot is doing. And here we come back to walking, and that was our first little mini circuit. So when it beeps again, we're going to do those oblique crunches again. When we put all of our focus of balance down low towards the ground, what we're thinking about is the ground. What you think about is where you go. Just so you know, this is something I learned a long time ago. Here we go with oblique crunches, hands on your shoulders. Wherever your eyes go is where your body is going to go. Wherever your brain goes is where your body is going to go. And here, by the way, is that bobbling and wobbling that I was talking about, because I'm thinking about other things rather than focusing on my balance. When you think about your abs, here we go on the other side. Think about your abs and your glutes being strong, holding you upright, bringing your center of gravity up to its actual center, which is the center of your body, which is your midsection, which is your abs, which is your core. Having that actually be the core, here we come back to walking, the core of your balance makes all the difference in the world. Balancing down towards the ground will bring you towards the ground. Balancing up in your middle will hold you balanced. When it beeps again, we're doing those star balance. Once again, I'm going to stand on my left leg first, because I always do. And the thing that's super funny, what I was telling you about how my left leg has actually gotten stronger, I notice that I am very rarely concerned about my balance on my left side, but I still definitely have coordination practice on my left side. When it beeps, of course, we're going to do this the other direction. Awesome, awesome job. And we are only doing each mini circuit twice. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So when we are done with this star balance here, we are done with star balance for today. You're welcome to practice it anytime you want to, my friends. In fact, something that I do pretty often is a little bit of balance. Here we come back to walking. A little bit of balance at a time. A little bit of balance work actually goes a long way. There's no need to spend hours on balance. Truly, there's no need to spend hours on any exercise. When it beeps again, we're doing crane kicks. I think you guys at this point, unless you are brand new around here, hello, welcome. I'm super glad you're here. Here we go with crane kicks. Unless you are new around here, you might never have heard me talk before about how we don't need to be doing anything for hours. Truly, there is no exercise that you need to be doing for long amounts of time. And in fact, the longer you exercise, the more likely you are to not be getting the benefit out of it that you want. Here we go on the other side. Last crane kicks, last time. Whew, I'm definitely noticing like tightness in my hamstrings from our strength work yesterday. I'm a little bit sore, not a lot. I moderated just fine, but I'm feeling my hamstrings really specifically. When it beeps again, we're coming back to walking, and then we're moving on to our next mini circuit. Our first exercise in our second mini circuit is super slow sprinters. What this is, it's like a crunch together and an extension. So I'm going to stand on my left leg first. I'm going to bring my left elbow towards my flying right knee. Going to crunch in the middle and then going to extend out. I call these super slow sprinters because to me the motion looks very much like sprinting. We're crunching and then extending, just like you're running, except we're definitely not. Crunching and extending. When it beeps, going to do the same thing on the other side. And here's where the coordination thing really comes into play for me. I can actually stand on my left side, but here we go on the other side. I can actually stand on my left side just fine, but doing these super slow sprinters while standing on my right leg feels rock steady for the balance. I mean, it's not, but it feels steady enough. But my left leg flying, doing these sprinters, feels so awkward. In spite of years of practice, here we come back to walking, in spite of years of practice, I am definitely still very right-sided. I'm right-handed, right-legged, right-strengthed, because that's a word. When it beeps again, we're doing around the world kicks. Please feel free to do around the world taps if you are not ready for kicks. I'm gonna kick forward, kick out to the side, without kicking a chair, and kick to the back, hopefully without kicking the wall. Good, good. Didn't hit anything. Awesome. If you would prefer to simply tap your toe, it's plenty of work. Again, the best way to practice your balance is in very small doses. Here we go on the other side. When we try and practice balance too much, when we try and do anything too much, I mean, think about doing too much cardio. Yes, there's such a thing. Too much strength work, too much flexibility work, too much balance work. Too much of anything can actually lead you to getting injured, getting burnt out, not having fun. Here we come back to walking. When in doubt, take things in small doses. This is what I was telling you. First of all, let me tell you, we're doing side reach crunches. So what we're going to do is actually kind of like the slow sprinters. Rather than crunching forward and out, we're going to crunch to the side. So we're going to extend out to the side. Actually, I'm going to go the other way. So we're going to extend out to the side and then crunch in the middle. And extend out to the side and crunch in the middle. Standing on my left leg first, because that's what I do. You're welcome to stand on whichever leg feels either best to you or worse to you, whichever way you want to think about it. And then when it beeps, we're going to switch sides, doing this side reach, crunch in the middle. So crunch in the middle and then fully extend. Awesome job. Not feeling quite so rock solid on this side. And this was exactly what I was thinking about today. By coming back to walking in between, kind of raising my heart rate. Not a lot, but just enough. This is a nice moderate workout today. We're getting some steps in. We're getting our heart rate up. We're working all parts of our body. That is work. It's a workout. It's a workout to practice your balance. And I'm going to tell you more about what I do every day as soon as I tell you that we're coming back to super slow sprinters, because that was our little mini circuit. So the way that I challenge myself on the daily is that I really like to do things like trying to put on my socks if I'm wearing socks, trying to put on my shoes if I'm wearing shoes, trying to take off like my pants or something where I'm standing on one foot and I really truly could be sitting down or hanging on to something, but not doing that. Here we go on the other side. Crunch and extend. This is what I was talking about with the coordination. It just feels awkward when I do this on the other side, but I think about bringing my opposite elbow to my opposite knee, and then everything else does what it's supposed to do. When it beeps again, we're coming back to walking. Excellent job. Whew. Doggies. Okay. Did you think it was going to feel like this much work? I know, you didn't. I know. Because I feel the same way. When I tell myself balance practice, I'm like, oh, I'm not even going to get sweaty. This is going to be a nothing workout. I'm going to feel like I need to do something else. No, this is actual work. This is work for your brain, for your body, for everything. Here we go with around the world kicks. Forward and side and back. And my friends, here's the point in the video where I remind you, you don't have to exercise at all in order to lose weight. So if weight loss is your primary goal, this is definitely enough of a workout. And even better, here we go on the other side. If your primary goal is simply being healthy, being fit, staying independent as you age, oh my gosh, this is definitely enough. This is the exact right amount of balance work where you can really challenge yourself, but it's not so much that you start losing focus. Here we come back to walking. Because that really is the problem with doing anything too much. Your brain stops being able to focus on what you're doing. Too much cardio, your brain starts going, what's going on? Stops making good decisions. Too much strength work, you start losing form because your brain can't pay attention. Too much balance work, your brain stops losing focus. Here we go with those side reach crunches. Out to the side, crunch in the middle. Nice job. Okay, I'm enjoying this lateral movement here for this balance. This is generally speaking my most difficult form of balance, and I'm kind of still wobbling, of course. Here we go on the other side. I didn't expect that I wouldn't be wobbling. You guys, after 10 years, I feel like I know myself well enough to know that I'm never gonna be one of those rock solid girls. You know, I watch some fitness trainers and I'm just like, how are you standing so steady on your leg? Like, how does that even work? I have no idea. And I have a really strong core. Here we come back to walking. I think, if I had to guess, I think it's a brain-body connection thing for me. Like, as much as I am very in tune with my body, I'm still kind of always thinking, just kind of scattered. When it beeps again, we're doing flying fast ups. Gonna have both hands up overhead. Another crunch and extend kind of move. This time we got both hands up though. It makes it slightly more difficult because we are recruiting more muscles by having those hands up overhead, getting those biceps all the way next to your ears in the extended position. We're really bringing in those big, big back muscles, which can, if you are not paying attention, actually take away from the balance in your core and in your glutes. Here we go on the other side, and that is why we do it. We're challenging our balance. We're asking even more muscles in our body to come and try and work all at the same time. When we're simply doing one thing at a time, your brain and your body both have an easier time with that. I mean, and then when we ask your body, here we come back to walking. When we ask your body to multitask with complex exercises where we're doing lots of different things, that's where it gets more difficult. So this is our third mini circuit, which is arguably the hardest one. We're recruiting more muscles in different ways. We're doing super slow toy soldiers. Now I'm standing on my left leg. So opposite hand, reaching towards that opposite foot, kicking forward. Again, with that forward motion on your leg and the forward motion on your hand, recruiting lots of muscles in here, thinking about my hip flexors right now, as well as my quadriceps. Here we go on the other side. Big back muscles coming to work, chest muscles coming to work, all of your hip complex coming to work right now. Oh, just a little bit more challenging than some of the other things we've done. When it beeps again, coming back to walking. Shake that out, right? Right? Okay, we've only got one more exercise in this little mini circuit. It's flying side bends. I'm gonna stand on my left leg first because that's what I do. Here's the thing about a side bend. In a side bend, we're not letting our hip do anything. So you've got your foot kind of dangling off of the ground here while we're doing a side bend. So it's actually your torso that's moving, and you're simply balancing on your bottom half while throwing your balance off on your top half, trying to keep your hips as stable and steady as they can be. We're only going as far over as your spine can flex, can bend in that direction. Oh my gosh. The trick for me on this one really specifically is not to lock my knee. I'm trying so hard to keep my hips stable that my knee really wants to lock so that my brain, or my body rather, here we come back to walking, my body thinks that locking my knee is going to be helpful in that situation. That is the automatic thing that my body tries to do. Here's what happens with your body sometimes, you guys. Your body thinks that something is going to be better because it's more efficient. That's not actually always the best way to get something done. Here we go with flying fast steps, crunching forward and extending out. Feel free to tap your toe, put your foot fully down, or have it flying the whole time. Totally up to you. Totally up to where you are with your balance practice, and frankly, where your balance is today. You guys, some days my balance is definitely better than others. Here we go on the other side. And that's never to say that my balance is phenomenal, but some days my balance is just definitely not there. And again, for me, I think that comes down to a focus and concentration thing. I definitely have a million tabs open in my brain at any given time. Here we go back to walking. And I do find it very difficult to focus on just one thing at a time. And that is very apparent sometimes, like when I'm doing balance work. You guys, that was the last of the flying fast steps. We're getting a little bit more walking in here. Then we're gonna do some super slow toy soldiers for me, standing on my left leg, both hands up, really recruit those big back muscles. Pull your shoulder blades down. so that your big back muscles are working. Bring that work of the standing leg all the way up into your glutes. Feel the difference when your toes are unclenched, when your knee is not locked. Here we go on the other side. Bringing that work up into my glutes is so much easier on my right hand side. It requires so much less concentration. Excellent job. When it beeps again, a little shaky on that one there. When it beeps again, we're coming back to walking. Awesome job. Okay. Okay. Coming up next, we're doing those flying side bends again. You notice how difficult that was for me last time. Really pay attention to your hipular area. Not letting your hip jut out to the side really is the key here. So for me, standing on my left leg, hips are gonna stay as stable as they can with one leg flying, and then just bending to the side and up. Really starting to feel the cumulative effect of this balance work. This is what I'm talking about. I can feel my concentration being just about done with balancing. Here we come to the other side. Oh my gosh, this is what I'm talking about. Other side. Okay. Okay, I can feel my hip totally jutting. Focus. Feel that work in your abs and obliques. When it beeps again, we are done, but we're not quite finished, so we're gonna come back to walking. Okay, I've got one final thing for us. We're gonna do a reverse lunge tap into a drinky bird. So I'm gonna turn to the side so you kind of see what I'm talking about. We're gonna step back into a reverse lunge, come all the way down into a lunge if you want to. If you don't wanna come all the way down into a lunge, just tap your foot back, and then we're gonna come up into a drinky bird, which is a single leg deadlift. So reverse lunge and drinky bird. Reverse lunge, you feel how you bring your weight all the way back and then you have to bring it forward into your leg. That reverse lunge throws your balance into, you're finding your center of your balance in a different place. When we do a reverse lunge, we're bringing our center of balance behind us and then tapping up into the drinky bird. Oh my gosh. By the way, we're going to do 2 of these. We're going to come back to walking here in just a second. Coming back up into the drinky bird, you have to find your balance again. Definitely, here we come back to walking. We're going to do that one more time because I really wanted you to feel how your center of balance is in your center. If you are paying attention to your abs, your core, even your glutes in that exercise, it'll make so much more sense where you are in space and time to keep your balance. So center of balance comes behind you here into that reverse lunge, and then we center it over your hips again. And then balance in between your feet and over the one foot. Awesome job. Balance between your feet. Balance in the middle. Here we are on the other side. The next time it beeps is the last time it's going to. Balance in the middle. Balance on one foot. Awesome job. Where's your balance? Your balance is in your abs. Balance is in your core. Balance is in your brain. And that was it, my friends. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was more challenging of a challenge than you thought it was gonna be, wasn't it? Let's go ahead and do some arm circles. I know we didn't do very much with our upper body today, but I just really want you to like loosen everything up. Here's what happens sometimes when we do this kind of balance work. Your whole body gets a little bit tight. I don't know if you noticed it while we were doing it, but I felt it in my own shoulders. Your body wants to balance so hard that it'll bring the work into whatever part of your body it can. So sometimes we clench our shoulders in order to balance. Isn't that crazy? And I love noticing that so that next time when I'm practicing my balance, I can pay a little bit of attention to that. Let's go ahead and open it up wide. Oh my gosh. Great job today. And then close it up. Give yourself a hug and a pat on your practice back, right? I mean, I'm not super duper sweaty. This wasn't like the sweatiest cardio work we've ever done, but this was definitely a great challenge. And I'm so proud of you. You guys, you are doing such a good job this month here in July. We've got one more day left of our 7-day July series. And that means But before you go, make sure, well, first of all, here on screen, let me do one more of these and tell you, here on screen, I've got an extended cool down for you if you'd like a little bit more stretching. I've also got your daily reminder about the 5 things that we do for weight loss over 50. And now, before you go, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.